Over the ditch, won't be live. I was hoping to do it live. Matty Markham, hello.
Hello mate, how are you? And welcome to New Zealand again.
Very good, I'm very, very well. This is Tuesday, this won't go up till Wednesday. Sometime I might try to put it out lunchtime because I've got a heap of videos going up here. But unfortunately the service, because where exactly are we?
I can't actually say what I would normally say, but it's something that sounds kind of like the middle of something nowhere.
Nowhere. Omakau is the official.
Always Craig Rail would say, you're further away than Walla Walla.
Yeah.
That's probably fitting.
It is a unique place, a unique racetrack. What a brilliant feel, what a brilliant day.
Yeah, it's cool. It's very cool, and you'll be able to see it back down the straight there, the people.
Yeah.
They stretch for miles, and it's this little place in Central Otago that's probably got a population of about 100 people.
8,000 people they're saying here.
Yeah, and there'll be 8,000 people here today. It's kind of what racing's made on,
Yeah.
It's that old school racing setup, where people come from nowhere to go to a race meeting, and not all of them are going to get involved in racing, but there'll be maybe even 30, 40 people here that might go, gee, I'll take a share in a syndicate of a horse.
I only need one.
Yeah, correct. That's a win. That's
a
win. So long may meetings and circuits like this one continue, because they're so important to the industry.
No, absolutely. And one of the reasons people say, well, what do we get you here? One, to promote that these are on, but I know today, unfortunately, all my video is going to go up tonight afterwards because of the service, and that's why there's no service, because we are in the middle of nowhere, without a few adjectives. But I want people to come this next year. This is a bucket list. Anyone wanting a destination in Australia, a good holiday to have, come to the South Island, stay at Invercargill. It's a 2-hour drive up here, 2.5-hour drive, or stay up here somewhere, go to Cromwell where you guys are all camping.
Yeah.
It's a must-do, and this is only the start of a three-day racing circuit over 5 days.
So I've been doing this circuit for probably, I think it's 8-9 years now, and it's literally the highlight of my year.
Yeah.
Just get away from home, come down, you're with, like-minded people who enjoy racing, they enjoy a punt, and everyone's so friendly and looks after each other. Back where we're staying at the Cromwell Racecourse, there'd be 30 licence holders there. And everyone, pops from campsite to campsite and sits down and has a beer and has a chat and a catch up, and it's just good camaraderie, and it kind of reminds you of why you're in the game and why you love the game, and it's the people.
Yeah.
And then you come to places like this, and then obviously Roxburgh again on Thursday, and then back to Cromwell, and it's exactly the same from day to day to day, and you all celebrate each other's successes, like we'll get back to camp tonight, Coxie won a race, those sort of things. Everyone will sit down and have a beer, and we'll toast to him, and hopefully Dave McCormick wins the next, and then we'll have an even bigger toast. And yeah, it's that kind of stuff that makes the game.
It's interesting you say that, though. It is about the winners, but it's actually not as much. Everyone that wins is enjoying doing a win, but I must say I haven't done every winner. There's just so many stories, so many unique people, and so many happy people around here.
And that's it. And it's the people that come down here from year to year to year and support these meetings every year. They might only get a second or a third, but that's a highlight for them. They come down here and they just want their horses to go good. They want their horses to be competitive, and if that happens, then everyone's happy at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it's great for New Zealand harness racing. I think you've got 2 meetings on today. You've got a grass track on the North Island as well. At a meeting I am not even going to try and butcher, because I got
Harunikau. There you go.
I did say not try and butcher, because I would have butchered it, but there is racing wall to wall all of the time. We're going to go back a week. I'm going to bring up Bet and Win, because you told me off for tearing the scab off the week before. Congratulations to everyone, the sister, and everyone else involved with that horse. Bob Butt, brilliant training effort, definitely got everything right. Although I still reckon there's a little bit of upside to him, but the box seat trot was a brilliant win, wasn't it?
Yeah, and wonderful from Alexandra Park to put on a series like that, like fresh off Group 1 day at Grand Prix. Obviously they were a bit disappointed he didn't make the New Zealand Trotting Derby, and maybe the way that he won that race on New Year's Eve, he probably should have been there, but to be able to go up there, race once, and then be eligible to race for a $50,000 final, a great scout from Bob to find it and suggest it. And Stacey and David obviously did a lot of work with the horse early on, and full credit to them, because it can't be easy to give away your best horse to someone else. No. But I know they got as big a thrill out of it on New Year's Eve watching that horse win as what they would have if they'd trained it themselves, and for them to be able to share it with some lifelong friends, and Ken and Karen and Phil and Glennis and Rabbit and Peter Bacon, and my old man Carl's got a share, David White's mum Marlene's got a share, so it's a Trans-Tasman win in so many ways, because Matt Peden in the ownership of it as well. So it was pretty special from a family point of view, and I know that everyone was pretty chuffed, and he's got a big future.
Oh, he has indeed, but I will say hats off to Bob, because he had his work cut out for him. Anyone watched the week before, yep, he had a flat tyre and all the rest, but his action wasn't great, and I know going the other way can throw that to some horses, but geez, he turned him around.
Yeah, and not just Bob. Big credit probably needs to go to Matty White and his partner Bridget Solomon, who'd been looking after the horse while Bob was obviously at the West Coast and things like that. And I know Matty was pretty happy with the way that he was progressing. So, there's people in the background that probably don't get the plaudits, but I think Matty's been probably just as influential in it as anyone else.
We'll stick with the trotters and Bobby Butt, Resolve. John Dickey now training, but just awesome. That was a brilliant win.
Yeah, dour. Very dour, like it almost looked at the top of the straight like all cashed up was going to just run on by, but I guess you run third in the Dominion, you've got a bit of toughness about you. She sort of showed that.
The week before as well, before the Dominion, she was awesome with the strength as well.
Exactly,
so,
and it's good to see her back doing that, because there was a period of time where she wasn't performing up to her best, and I think she'll go on now and she'll march towards races like the Rowe Cup and the Anzac Cup, and she'll just continue to do a good job, because she's a good, honest mare.
I reckon it was great for Bob too. He's one of the good blokes of the industry. He's probably now gets a bit more high profile if you like, but he's probably never been in that category, but he's definitely etching his way up there now.
Oh, and he does a super job. His horses always look sensational, and I 100% agree. I think in the last 4 or 5 years we've seen this maturity come to Bob about the way that he drives and the way that he portrays himself and the way that his horses look and things like that, and he's going to reap the benefits of that for years to come, because people are looking at him going, his team goes really good. If I've got a horse that's got a little niggle that I want to get out on the beach, his name's going to be up the top of the list of anyone you rank.
And it has to be, and then he also a driver. He's an exceptional driver, so he ticks a lot of boxes there. A couple other the highlights: Don't Stop Dreaming announced itself. I'd probably already had announced itself, but to run past some quality horses away, he did. I know he's heading to Australia, and Akuta is, or was anyway. I don't know whether they have a rethink after he's run the overnight, but it's pretty exciting stuff to see a horse like him start to progress his way through.
I don't think anyone would have predicted him to come off the back of Akuta and run past him and Old Town Road like that, given they are established open class horses. I don't know if I read too much into the Akuta performance, given the state of the track and the fact he was fresh up for a while, but he's still going to be a major player wherever he goes, Akuta, because he's such a good horse, and Mark knows how to prepare a horse for a big carnival too. But exciting, because obviously you've got Don't Stop Dreaming, you've got Merlin to come back into the mix as well, and there's all these exciting
Merlin's going to the Chariots.
Yeah,
I know that's his plan, so he won't go to Victoria, but he is definitely going to the Chariots.
Yeah, no, you guys are going to get to see him up in the flesh and have a really good look at him.
A lot of people haven't seen him. Are going to go, wow.
And probably more so Don't Stop Dreaming, because he's sort of been almost inadvertently second fiddle to Merlin, because Merlin's such a hype horse. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do over there, and they are two very serious horses.
We have a race in Australia, it's called the Eureka. It's for Australian bred only horses. There's going to be a race over there called the Chariots. It's going to have 2 or 3 really, really nice now 4-year-old New Zealand horses that I hope Andrew Kelly and the rest of his crew look at it and say, well, we need to change this $2 million race for restricting it for so much, because he's going to lock these sort of horses out. Selling points for our industry. These are what we can build our industry on, and they've got to look at it.
We only got to look at the way that the slot races, the other slot races are progressing, and the interest that's coming interstate in your country, and obviously from, if you can get that New Zealand aspect into it, the race by Grins up in Cambridge, the trot slot race. We've talked about it a lot. Having that hype up where it's not a restricted race. You don't have to have this certain permutation around you to be eligible to compete in it. And I was a bit surprised with Eureka, because it probably had the potential, with the marketing power behind it, to become the biggest harness race in Australasia. But the moment they put that little caveat on the side of it,
they locked out Millwood Nike.
3/4 of the harness racing population went, well, I don't care. It's got nothing to do with me.
And it can't grow because it's just always going to be those 3 and 4-year-olds. Yeah. And even sillier now, Leap to Fame, and those horses are also now ineligible because they're too old.
Yeah.
It just seems... Anyway, $2 million race, and it's got so many caveats on it. It is ridiculous. Before we get off Auckland, Christopher Dance. Was it Christopher Dance? Outstanding. Logan and Hollis, and is it Shane Robinson or Scott Robinson? Shane.
Yep.
Have done an amazing job this year with some of their horses. I think their 2-year-olds has just been outstanding. Unearthed another one.
Yeah, they have. Not sure about the name, Chris.
I don't either.
Given the relationship to Christopher Vance and what he did, but that's fine. It's allowed to happen. He's come back a serious horse, and it's going to be exciting to see what he can do and progress his way up the grades. Obviously, he comes back, I think, as a 4-year-old now, so it'll be interesting to see how he progresses and where he goes to. But gee, he was impressive the other night.
They've had a great run.
Oh, They do it, and I've said it to you a couple of times. They do a fantastic job with their horses. You know, they all walk out onto the track looking sensational. They're all ready to perform. You know, and yeah, they don't win races every week, but you know they're consistently picking up winners, which is pretty hard to do, especially up there in Auckland where it's really competitive and there's such a small pool of trainers from which to win races from.
Happy to give a little tease too, because at the end of this trip I'm going to be on the North Island, and they don't know it, but I'm actually going there to have a good chat with the boys because I think they're doing an outstanding job. The horse they prepared won the Leaton Plate, time-honoured race, Mr Bondi. He's been sensational since he got there. So not only do they win races, their horses go on when they go to other stables and different states. We don't want them to go to Australia. We need to keep the population up here. But the flip side of that is when they do go on, people come back and invest more money.
Yeah, and we don't want to see them, as you say. But at the end of the day, for a lot of trainers, it's a business. And you've got to have that to horse turnover to be able to bring in the next wave. And, you know, as long as they are consistently keeping horses in New Zealand like Christopher Dance and Till IC and all those ones I've had racing recently, then that's a good result at the end of the day.
The Duns, they ended up leading trainer. I think it was 153, I'm going to say, off the top of me head. Started off with 4. Rangiora, first day of the year. Amazing sort of turnaround.
Normal service presumes, I think is what they call it. A lot of plaudit needs to go to Johnny, Robert and Jenna, because they run an incredible operation out there. They've had a lot of starters, they support a lot of races, they support a lot of race meetings, you know, and they work hard. They are very, very hard workers. You've been out there and seen them in action, and they are very astute in the way that they place their horses, and it is a world-class operation the way that they operate it. Obviously with the drivers they've got access to, obviously not just John, but Corbin, Riley's making a good job, Timmy Williams jumps in the bike, Blair Orange jumps in the bike, you know, so they are very smart operators, and it's going to be interesting to see how this premiership situation unfolds in the coming years, because obviously we'll expect to see a lot more of Stonewall coming in the next 12 to 18 months.
I've been and seen the new place you have, and it's just outstanding.
Oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful setup. Obviously they've had a winner today at both islands. They won one at Te Awanika and they won one here, so they've started well too. Oh, Built for Glory, he's a beautiful horse. He's a size stakes horse.
He was a sale topper 2 years ago, so
and obviously you want to see him doing that, but he's been 3 wide for most of the trip and worked hard and still won, and they're going to be major players, and it's going to be interesting to see how that battle between maybe them and the Duns battle it out, and you throw Michael House in the mix as well, and he wins races here, there and everywhere. He won a couple up at Te Awanika today as well, so
Wilson got to the 50 before Michael.
Mickey was a bit stiff here today though.
He was.
He might have got there. I
tell you, all jokes aside, you all say bet on red and everything else like that. Great drive. The winner actually stumbled. And everyone else said, well, we're not going to the fence. Mickey's like, no, I'll go to the fence. He gave it every chance. It just wasn't good enough.
He just held up probally enough at the quarter that he couldn't get out, and he might have got close, I reckon, but I'll just hang
You're barricaded for him,
Emily's she's gonna want something out of me.
I got a text straight away. It's been the only time I've had any service, and it comes straight through.
I haven't had anything yet, touch wood, so we'll see what happens.
No, absolutely. Matty, thank you. I say it all the time. It is 2024. We're not going to be finished. This might not be our last interview for this week either, but I definitely appreciate everything that you do. Really enjoy it. Also enjoy the banter because you're sort of sat back and relaxing here today.
Yeah, the feet are up. I won't say that I haven't had a beer because I have had a couple, but that's what we do down here. You know, it's good, and we're lucky that, you know, we've got people that are working hard, driving and training horses that are happy to drive us home at the end of the day and things like that. And I just love being down here, mate. And I can't wait to show you through the camp setup at Cromwell because you'll be impressed.
We're going to do a roving Mike. I'm going to give, just going to turn him loose. I'll follow him around with the camera, and who knows where it'll end up.
There could be some things we might have to have the mute button ready to just silence a few, because some of them can talk, especially if we get John Morrison on the mic.
2 other things. Congratulations on your engagement.
Yeah, thank you.
Some people said it was long overdue.
Well overdue. Battling gelding that's been in the paddock for a while has come back into work, so there's a bit of pressure on there.
And a big shout out to JT. I believe he may have had an incident today. I'm not exactly sure on everything, but he's not in 100% of health, Big Johnny Turner, so hopefully everything's okay with him. Yeah,
he'll bounce back. The king of content, he's always there. We'll see him at some point over the week.
And you've got to follow his content because it's just outstanding, some of the stuff he's putting out.
Yeah, and we're lucky here in New Zealand because we've got a lot of people that are keen to do it. You know, Joe Stevens, Nigel Armstrong, Johnny, those ones, they're out there telling stories that don't often get told. Same as yourself, you know, and anyone who's doing that kind of stuff in this game is top of the pops in my books, because the more stories we hear, the more people we get to know, and more importantly, those people get their moment in the spotlight, which is so important.
And we all work together. Yeah, that's what it does. So
100%.
Exactly. Matty, thank you. Always a pleasure. Congratulations.
Thanks, mate.